Neurofox,
Yes, sir.
what did I do yesterday?
Yesterday was highly technical and varied. Your focus areas were 1. Core development * deep dives into systems optimization, SQLite performance, and reviewing architectural patterns, fast API dependency injection. You also developed the screen observer loop using Python/PyObjC. 2. Workflow * mornings involved intensive, focused coding sessions and technical documentation reading. Afternoons shifted toward coordination, design reviews, and administrative tasks, Jira updates. 3. Communication * you maintained a very detailed written output, drafting implementation plans and updating architectural documents. Much of the communication was spent coordinating technical specifications via email and professional chats.
Neurofox,
Yes, sir.
what about a joke?
Why did the developer quit his job? Because he didn't get a raise.
Fair enough. Neurofox,
Yes, sir.
what tools do you have access to?
My access is structured around assisting you with information retrieval and coordination. 1. Memory context * I have real-time access to your saved work memory and past activity logs, like the weekly profile update. 2. Communication channels * I can process and synthesize information from various communication streams, Teams, email summaries, chat transcripts, if you direct me to them. 3. Technical domains * my knowledge base includes deep understanding of complex systems architecture, development lifecycles, Azure DevOps/GitHub, and specific technologies. Mentioned in your work history, PHP, Python, JavaScript, SQL, etc. In short, I access information from your data streams and my trained technical knowledge.
And we'll stop him right there. Okay, so part 3 of the video intro. Welcome back. If you haven't already checked out part 1 and part 2, go and have a look at those. Again, this is all free. I try and aim to get this stuff free for. I mean, I do pay for Gemini because you can see that on my IDE, but it does help me. So what I've done here is I've managed to work out how I can talk to Neurofox. Yes, he has a Jarvis voice. I just like the Jarvis voice, but I didn't want to name the project Jarvis on this one. I wanted to keep it for myself. I know there's Jarvis apps out there that people done. They're awesome. Well done. Love it. But I wanted to keep this for myself. So it's built, like I said, on OS X at the moment. I haven't got any real I haven't got any plans to actually push it to PC, which is probably quite straightforward, and Linux just yet. I might. I mean, depends on if people want it. So as you've seen there, I can talk to him. He can talk back to me with a wake on word. Now the wake on word functions a little different to how I originally did Jarvis version 1. What happened there? I like I said, just knowledge wise for me for Python, I didn't know enough. And I was asking the AI to respond when I had to wake on word. Now that caused a delay, and that delay rolled on and on and on and on and on. So you'd get confused. So you'd be waiting for a reply, and then you start another conversation, and you'd get confused. So what I thought, and this is just basically, he's only got a set amount of responses. Yes, sir. What would you like? So I thought, well, let's create a WAV file and let's push that up first. So that's that instantaneous response. So that's nice and snappy, fast, like you've seen happening there in the little electron window. And from there, you can obviously send your information across that stream. And there's a Python. I've just got it called chunker.python, and it basically streams it. And as it hits as you've seen, hits the M4, the M4 throws it back to me on a continuous stream or a continuous loop. So you can have that conversation without too much of a delay. I know there is one, and it's not quite like the real thing, but hey, with an M4 as my inverted commas brain, my MacBook M5 is my workhorse connected via Thunderbolt. I think that's pretty good, and I'm only using, as you can see in front of you, a 4 billion parameter model. It works. I'm stoked. I really am. And that memory recall is what I wanted. Now, like unless you've got something really specific, the AI models out there don't remember what you've been doing. I mean, I come across all the time with this Gemini thing in this IDE. You'll be working on something, and then you come back the next day, unless you haven't specified log this to an MD file, it forgets, right? So it doesn't remember what you're doing, and then it'll waste all these tokens going back or through all your code, and then by the time you get to where you wanted to be in the first stage, you've wasted all these tokens, and you're just going, damn it. So anyway, so in a nutshell, I wanted it so it remembers what I'm doing. So you can jump into a code project or into a project, get back into your code, and it'll know where you're at. You can give me a summary, and it tells you exactly where you left off, which I love. And then I wanted something else I can talk to. So it's I work from home 4 days a week. I'm in the office 1 day a week, and so you want something you can talk to? Yeah, you can talk to an AI model. Why not? And then you can develop it even further. So you can take this and manipulate it to whatever you want. So yes, I work with .NET and Python. Well, no, Python. I'm learning Python. PHP are my bread and butter codes, and I wanted to learn Python more so I could do this because the world in AI lives on Python. So I've read. So if you can learn Python and get it to do all these cool things, I think you can put that feather in your hat and say, yeah, I know how all this works. And you're one step in front of a lot of people, because a lot of people just use ChatGPT to ask it like a Google question. But if you understand the nuts and bolts of this and how it all works, you can develop all these things that you want to develop. You can go down the road of doing something like I've done, or the world's your oyster. Whatever ideas you can come up with, you can build. And leveraging AI is fantastic. Rewind 2-3 years ago, and this wasn't around. You had to really go and research. You really had to go and you had to know your stuff. Now you can, if you want to use the word vibe coding, well, happy days. But I think you need to know more than just to be able to vibe code. You need to actually know how the back part works. You know how to set this stuff up, networking, your OSs and all that. So enough of that. Back to Neurofox. I'm wrapped. I reckon he's working quite well. And as you've seen just a second ago, hit pump up there saying he's snoozing. So once my mouse activity starts, it comes back again. So welcome back, Steve. But he doesn't say anything. So I've got to fix that up. So it's got a bit of a timeout. Other than that, I wanted to actually invoke the camera on the MacBook Pro as part of the process of communication to him, so he can see me, I can see him, and start to work out that vision part of it as well. But that's probably a little bit more of a leap for me. I'm going to tidy up the rest of this and sign off on part 3, because I've just got to go back and do a bit more work for my main job. As much as I like doing this, I've got to go back and fix up some stuff. And no, it's not 3D on the left hand side there. That was something else I was playing around with. So if you've got any suggestions, comments, or want to ask me about anything I've done here, look, feel free. There's a lot going on in here, and I understand about 80% of it. There's still about 20% I'm a little bit not sure of, and that's the vibe coding part of it. You sort of give it, you know what you want to do, but the actual guts of it behind it is still a little bit. Your brain sort of, you don't know what you're doing, so I need to go back and analyze exactly what this thing's doing on about 20% of it. So wish me luck there, but that's all good. That's part and parcel of learning this stuff. You just got to go back over what the AI has generated and make sure you want it to do the right thing. Oh, actually, before I do go, someone did ask me about the passwords. So when this captures my screen, so it captures both screens. It captures my laptop screen and my external display. And one question I had was, what about passwords? And I'm going, what I did, I actually when I actually was planning this out in one of my phases, I said security is a big issue. We need to keep security at top level. So I went and did some research on that, and what it does, any password field that it sees labeled as password, or even your terminal, it actually ignores it. So I've told it to ignore the the terminal. Terminal TUI, terminal user interface. Ignore that because you don't need to see what I do in terminal. And any password fields, it gives you that glass over, so you can't see. It glasses over the image when it snapshots it, so you can be fairly safe that it's not capturing that information. Other personal information, i.e. maybe my banking information. Because this is local, it stores on my local computer. It's not going out to the World Wide Web. Even if it did, I've got a fingerprint 2FA for my banking system, so it's tightened up. The other question I had was, no, I've answered that. It's will it run on Windows or will it run on Linux? No, not yet. It will if people want it. I'm quite happy to share this on Git, and I have built an auto Git. Like I said, this isn't working just yet. The Git repo functionality. Again, if I want to be able to tell Neurofox, he's got access. Sorry, I should go back a little bit on this one. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot. I do apologise. My brain goes faster than my mouth. Anyway, what was I talking about? Not memory. Git. Sorry. So I want the voice activation, so I can say to him, can you commit and push XYZ file, and I want him to do that, so he'll be able to work in the Git arena. He does my memory. That's just the status. He has access to my agents, so I can tell him to go and throw this to the code gen agent. He will fire that up for me. I should have done a demo of that, but anyway, that's all right. I'll do that in the next part. I've got to implement the part. So this is my app breakdown of what I'm working on. So it just gives you a bit of a randomized score. I need him to talk into that or look into that as well. That's not a hard one. And task. I'm gonna. Here we go. As a triage. So I'm working on getting him to. So he'll identify any. If I say I've got my Visual Code Studio up and I'm coding, and I come across a problem that how it underlines in red. So I want him to trigger and say, I see that you're working on a problem here. Would you like me to throw this would you like me to get Orchestrator, which is the Python pipeline, to throw this into a triage and actually push it through the push it through value. This triage, this actual pipeline of CodeGen architecture reviewer, and basically be able to pick out problems and throw them into the right agent, I guess is what I'm looking at doing. So he will pop up on the screen, goes, hey Steve, you're working on this, I can see. Would you like me to throw it at the bug triage, or would you like me to throw it at the architect to give you some more ideas on maybe how to tackle this problem? That's my next, or one of my next hurdles I want to get across and try and get that nutted out, because I think if you can have that and then you can start talking to him at the same time, talking to Neurofox via the voice, the microphone, and then you can start to get a bit of hands off it and he can start to get a bit more involved in your machine. I don't know if that'll work or not. I'm still trying to get like I said, I'm learning as I'm going, and it's getting bigger than I sort of anticipated. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to sign off and say thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, suggestions, or just tell me I'm an idiot, happy for it. Leave them below, and I'll respond. Thank you.